Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Look, get there. Coach Rhule, if he and his staff have done the research, and if this is what's best for them, they want to try this out. I mean, hey, we'll roll with it. So I'm just happy to be able to be there, and we'll have some fun. We'll get to the stadium tomorrow, and I don't know. You're on like crab cake duty, I think. Finding a spot to eat some good crab cakes tonight.
I am. No pressure, but
I love crab cakes, like love them. So
Kyle said it with such conviction. I feel like I cannot let him down.
no,
He just was like, and this is
yeah.
what you're going to do. And I was like,
Well, you told him on your interview that you're like the restaurant guy, and so this is your first chance to do it because you were late to the Kansas City.
my,
So this is your first time to shine. So there's high expectations for you, DB.
no, zero pressure. Hey, in our clip in between, it was Isaiah Hunter. We just were rolling his audio, because you're around these guys a ton too. Sometimes I'll allude to it on the broadcast. How cool is it? The kind of his temperament. It's now not like the exception. It's kind of the norm with those guys in that wide receiving room. They are competitive. They are. I mean, he is no nonsense. They get after it in that room.
Yeah, and I like how hard he competes. I mean, we went back and did the TV show. There were just a couple of plays that he could have gone down, but he fought for the extra yards. He just is that tough minded that they talk about. That he just has that kind of mindset that I think really this football team wants to be. And so he was hilarious after the game because I talked to Ja'Cory Barney first, and he was laughing about how fast Isaiah could run. I saw somewhere I should have liked it so I could go back to it that he had the fastest play in college football last
Yeah.
week
Yeah, I think he was 20. Was he
21-9.
21-9?
21-9, yeah.
with one shoe. So Ja'Cory was laughing about it. Then Isaiah's like, I didn't even know I didn't have a shoe on until I got to the end zone. I was like, what's going on?
Well, I'm not surprised. He's kind of nuts. You know what I mean? And like he's just intense like that.
Yeah, but what I really like about Isaiah, and Coach Rhule has pointed it out too, but what I've observed just watching from the sideline, there's a play early on. I think it was Quinn Clark's touchdown that could have been Isaiah's touchdown, and the fact Isaiah was celebrating like it was like he scored the touchdown when it was Quinn Clark that scored. And so the way that he wants the ball, he wants to make things happen with the ball, but he is as excited when the guys in the room around him make plays with the ball too. I think they all realize that, hey, if we're all producing, then it's really hard for defenses to lock in and try to just take one guy out of it, because then it's going to be open for some other guys to take advantage of on the defense. So that culture is real. It's not just words. The way that there's a lot of guys in that room that can make plays, and it could with sometimes with wide receivers, they want the ball, they want to get their touches, but they truly have embraced and are okay with, hey, one day it might be Isaiah's turn tonight, or this week it might be Dane Key, next week it might be Ja'Cory, and so I think they're all like more than okay with that, and actually have come to appreciate the fact that there are multiple guys in that room that can make plays. And yes, they're competitive with each other. That's for sure.
And I know a lot of if you're watching at home, they couldn't see it, but walk our listeners through, like Ja'Cory. We always talk about how hard he practices and how competitive he is. Tell our listeners the story about Ja'Cory Barney, like getting a touch for each position group Saturday.
What?
How Ja'Cory Barney was cheerleading with each position group on Saturday.
Oh yeah, he that's how he is every day. He and Vincent Schaefer's are like the energy, are like the internet. Is that going to be a drop, Shane?
What?
Probably.
I was like, what did you say? No, that's Ja'Cory. I mean, he's like that. He's been like that since he was a freshman last year. I mean, every single game he is. Sometimes, because especially at the beginning of the year when it was hot and they're like, hey, sit down, like so you can conserve your energy. Like Ja'Cory's the first one up. He's the first one going to show love to the offensive line, to the running backs, to Dylan, but also to the defense. to the special teams guys. I mean, he's that guy. And Vincent Chambers is a lot like that too, where he is up and celebrating. And but it's so much fun to watch. And there's a reason why Ja'Cory is so well loved on the team, because he's a great teammate. He is genuine in the way that he celebrates and wants the success out of his teammates. And so yeah, there's a reason why he's a single digit guy, and why he's so well loved. And it's real. It's not just for show. I mean, he can't sit down, I mean, that's just how he's wired. Like, you cannot force him to sit down when there are big things happening. He's so in the moment, and it doesn't matter if he's involved or not. He wants to see his teammates succeed.
Jess, when you're thinking about the wide receiver room, who would you try and take away first? Because I think it's changed sort of throughout the season, right? Like, I think early it was people were on Dane Key, right? And then obviously Barney has started to break out. Hunter is super capable. Like, if you're a defensive coordinator and you're sitting there, you go, hey, who do I try and take away? And we've seen Dylan with his willingness and ability to get the ball to everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's a good answer for that, because as soon as you turn on the film from last week and then you see what Isaiah Hunter did, and then, oh, by the way, Emmett Johnson had 6 receptions, and then you got Luke Lindenmeyer thrown into we had this stat last week, and I think it was unfortunately did not go my way, because there was a lull of over 40 minutes that the offense didn't have the ball. But we were talking on Sports Nightly, Kyle and I, they average throwing the ball like multiple guys. So I think it's like 9 or 10 guys catching a pass every single game. And so the stat for the week was over under that, how many guys catch multiple passes. So 2 or more passes. And it was set at 6.5. And I think it ended up at 5, So, the fact that there are so many different people that can get involved in the offense. I mean, you can try, but I think Dana Holgorsen is so good at what he does. He will see that, recognize that, and then spread it out to somebody else. So it's what makes this offense the potential to be so dangerous, because you can't lock in on one guy. And if you do, then you're going to provide one-on-one for some other guys that are very good at winning one-on-ones. So, and I think that's different too this year. I mean, I think you got guys that can go up and make competitive catches. If you got those 50-50 balls, I think you've got wide receivers now that you feel really confident in really making those plays. And so I don't think there's an answer to that. I wouldn't want to be that guy trying to figure out how to stop one guy, let alone 2. Multiple guys in that wide receiver room. And then outside of that, other pass catchers that they have, it's just, I don't know. It's daunting.
Let me ask you something, because I want to go back to just, we're sitting there during spring practice and stuff. And now they've just become such a pair playing opposite one another on this defense. Who do you think's come the furthest, the fastest? Wanari or McCullough?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question, because I think McCullough he obviously is experienced, but he came to Nebraska to be able to play this specific position, to be able to be on the outside. That's where he thought he was the best. And so he wanted to be able to be in a defense that utilized him in that way. And I think Wanari's he's younger, but he had the raw skills. And so it's 2 different ones, where you're seeing someone really hone in and tap into that natural ability as a young player, and then someone that as an older player recognized what his strengths were and finding the fit and the confidence in a defense. So it's 2 different ones, but probably McCullough, just because I think I don't know. You could really, what is that saying? Half dozen one the other. I have no idea. I think both of them have come a long ways, but I think maybe McCullough, just because I think he's really settled into the position that he wanted to play.
Jess, as you head out to Maryland here later today, and you're thinking about this game, how do you think this game should play out if it goes the way Nebraska wants it to?
Well, so it's funny, because Damon, you talked about this on Sports Nightly earlier this week. We've talked a lot about it. I mean, Maryland's last in the Big Ten in running the football and rush yards a game. The attempts are way less than everybody else. They throw the football way more. But, chatting with a couple of the defensive players, it sounds like they're really preparing for Maryland to try to take advantage of a front that, at times have not. Now, Coach Rhule had talked about that last week. They had their best performance against the run, best, defensively, the best that they've done stopping the run last week against Michigan State. But I think maybe on film, they know that teams might try to still take advantage of that, especially with the number one pass defense in the country that has been from the start of the season. So they seem to be thinking that Maryland might try to run the football against them. And so I think they got to be ready to go up front. But and offensively, I think I'm anxious to see with another week and with this offensive line and, just 4 sacks, 7 sacks, not going to cut it. They know that. And I know there's 1.5, I think, was on Dylan. And Dylan even said, hey, that's my bad. So I think, the sack numbers have got to go down. But I think they're going to do what they do. Nebraska's going to do what they do. And they're going to, try to continue to move the ball. And it's hard because I don't really know what Maryland is still. I feel like they've looked different. And but I think they're really excited to go on the road because this is Coach Rhule. It comes from the head man down. He kind of likes that us against the world mentality. He likes going into an environment and hushing the road crowd. And while I don't know if it's going to be a rowdy crowd, this is the first opportunity really for this team to do that because let's face it, it was Memorial Stadium South at Arrowhead. So, this is the first opportunity to really kind of go on the road and road wins just do something different for a team and build and bringing guys together and building the confidence. I mean, the way that they get so fired up to be able to go on the road and perform well in somebody else's house. So I think they'll be fired up and the attention to details we've talked about earlier, like leaving the day early. They're taking the nutritionist, the chef, they've got
little pads for like blood flow and stuff on the plane. It's like,
yeah, they've got like saunas lined up for when they get there. And just all the things that they are used to here, they're going to be able to utilize today and tomorrow at Maryland. And so I think they'll be ready to go. And I think I think as they do every game, they expect to go win this game, put up a lot of points and, play really solid defense and shut them down to the best of their ability.
You know how I feel about him as a coordinator. He's fascinating. He's competitive and he's super high strung. So I loved your audio, right? The play-by-play of getting what Coach Butler is saying on the sidelines during the broadcast. But
could you guys hear it through my mic?
Yes. It's a thing. It's a good thing Josh is brilliant, right? So you don't have to worry about, mics being open. But I was like, OMG. But having said that, you're probably the last person that's surprised that he makes a Sorsby stats reference during the presser, right? Like, that's just kind of who Coach Butler is. Highly competitive.
Very much so. And there were stretches that the defense was playing really, really well, but he was extra firing on last Saturday. And, Coach Rhule said it in the press conference that he seemed a little scary on the headset. I mean, I can attest to that. I heard it. But no, I mean, he just, he wants to light a fire. And I think the guys responded to it, and there were stretches where they played really well. And then there were a couple of times that didn't get them to the ground. And that was one of the things that get them to the ground. If you're not going to do your job, then you're not going to play. And I think he wants to make sure that, hey, because if one guy doesn't do your job on defense, that's when those big plays happen. And so I think he was on another level to make sure that this defense rises to the occasion. And so he was getting after guys, but obviously it paid off. I mean, I know there were a couple of stretches, the long drive in the second quarter, and then maybe a couple of times that the first passing touchdown, like they were pissed about that.
I thought he was going to lose his mind.
Like that, they were so ticked off, and so there were just DB, you talked about it. I mean, this is a defense that's going to continue to grow and get better, and he knows the potential, and so he just is very, very, he wants to make sure that he's clear that, hey, I have these expectations, and he wouldn't be that way if he didn't think that this team could meet those expectations. And so when they're not, he's letting them know about it. And I think they've responded to it accordingly.
That's Jessica Coody, Husker Radio Network. Jess, Appreciate your time as always. Good luck traveling with this guy later, and hope you have a good trip.
Yeah, thank you guys. I already told Kyle, since he's sitting next to DB, better make sure you got the Wi-Fi. You're ready to hook up his headphones and all of the technical things. Kyle's ready to handle it. So since he's sitting next to you on the plane.
Oh, thank you, because I may have new headphones, and I'm definitely gonna need help. Thank you.
All right. See you guys.
In a bit.
Bye, Shane.